Welcome to the CFG GameCast episode number 51, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love, give us a like, give us a follow, comment, what have you, and just go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat with the master chair. That is an awesome chair you got.
No, and guys, I would plug it in, but it makes a lot of noise. It picks up on the mic, and it sounds not what it is. It vibrates, so it's a massage chair, like the pillow on the butt area. That's real nice. This was a birthday present. It came really late, and I had to take every part out of the box to get it inside my house yesterday. So, you know.
How big is that box? My God.
It came up to here on my chest because everything was compressed in it. But you have to think, like, the bottom piece has the leg recliner, and they ship it with the bars out, I think, for, it doesn't break in transit. And so the box was, like, super tall, and it was still too wide for me to comfortably grab with my little armies because I'm short. We learned that today trying to take a picture. My arms are too short. So I had to just cut it open and like take all the pieces out, put them on my landing, and then chug them up the stairs. Adam was working. He's like, "What are you doing? I can help you. Something's loud. Stop. Wait till I get off this phone call." I'm like, "It's fine. I've got it." Trying to get it up the stairs. But it was fun. I like putting stuff together. So
the chair was literally almost the death of you today. That you do know that. Did you get that today or yesterday? What was that?
Yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I put it together while I was on the phone with my 90-year-old Mimi. So she's like, "I can't hear you." I'm like, "Mimi, I'm not holding this phone to my mouth. Nice. I'm not doing it. You're gonna have to like put your listening ears on or turn me up or something. I don't know." Because I have a headset for my cell phone that sounds better than if I'm like holding it. Because, brain surgery stuff. I can't sit there after brain surgery and talk to people who want to talk to me and make sure I'm okay. So I have like a special headset for my phone. And she's like, "I can't hear you." I'm like, "It just must be reception." Because
long periods of time. That's awesome. Well, that's cool. That's good. I'm glad you got that chair. And now you are definitely the master of the chairs right now. So that's great. All right. And we got the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty on the third seat. What's going on, my friend?
Doing well. It has been another busy week. Obviously, and we'll talk about it a little bit. There's a lot that is going on out here, not only in our nation, but within the world, and just the issues that we've seen, especially as far as racism, police brutality, and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, I was talking with people and stuff like that. I am absolutely emotionally and mentally drained just from being on. There's so much going on, you know what I mean? Like, you guys know that I've had family members pass away too within the last couple of months and stuff like that. So this is I inadvertently saw that video, not realizing what I was going to be seeing when it first happened and stuff like that. But it really seems that there's a lot of people that have spoken up, and I feel like people are listening a little more. I've had friends, you know what I mean, of all gamuts of people reaching out to me, which has really been nice, just seeing people and seeing that solidarity in people, and people standing up to something like this. I think is super important, especially as a person of color.
No, I totally agree.
Obviously this is part of our life.
Oh no, you totally
it has been.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so we'll get into this.
No, you're totally right. I totally agree. Because it's funny. Because that's actually what I kind of did this week too. Because I actually did I went to my local protest on Tuesday night before it got crazy with it, and it was a peaceful protest. It wasn't like going crazy or anything like that. But no, I mean, it's definitely. I would say I'm more amazed about the turnout of how this is turning out. But in general, it's more unfortunate what had to happen just to get this going, because once again we lost another life of with the circumstances, and I mean, and but overall, it's definitely, it seems like it's going the right direction. This time, I just hope that the Steam, it's still going, eventually when this settles down, that it doesn't lose its steam on putting people accountable for these things, so we can actually see real change, and that's up to everyone. I mean, that's up for me, absolutely, you, and everybody for this to not let this fizzle out. So I mean, but yeah, I mean that's definitely true. So, but no, this time it was a very productive week when it comes to that, you know.
And I know it has affected everybody in a number of ways. We'll talk more about that stuff, though. I didn't mean to, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get into that when we talk about your topic and whatnot. But so that's been a part of this week. Obviously, the other night, we had issues for my stream Thursday, Friday. I was super tired. These guys over here, you know what I mean? Like they say, hey man, take the night off, do it. Cause I was feeling bad. I was like, let me try. And I ended up going on the Mishmash podcast, here Friday. That was supposed to be the time that I was going to take a nap, and I didn't get the nap in. So I ended up taking last night off. It was huge. I played some DBZ Kakarot.
Are you still not done with that game?
Midnight. No, dude, that game is long, dude. That game is long. I'm playing it.
I looked it up. It's so long. I looked it up.
I didn't realize how long it was, because I'm trying to focus on one game at a time. So it's I've been trying to grind that, and then it's long, and there's side quests, and there's this and that. So I'm on the Majin Buu saga. I'm on the Majin Buu saga. So as far as Kakarot, I'm guessing that encompasses basically all of Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Z ended, I believe, on the Majin Buu series. I don't know if there's more after that.
Oh yeah,
there could be.
No, there's not.
I think there's a DLC or something.
Well, there's DLC. There's DLC, but I don't know how long it's going to be. But I know it's not all out.
Yeah, but I should be on the final stages, because I just started the Majin Buu saga. So I'm looking to finish that up here, hopefully within the next week. I was supposed to tonight go over to a buddy's that I haven't seen probably in 2 years. This is an IRL friend I know from college that lives out here as well. And unfortunately, there's an emergency that came up on his end, so that's not happening. So I'm gonna be on some video games tonight. I know that Lit AF Chris was talking about playing some games. Yeah, I haven't played games with that in forever, so I'm gonna look to take some time. I might stream tonight. I don't know. I might just chill and just play games and hang out though too.
Well, sounds good.
But other than that, though, yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah, it sounds good, man. You're always busy, always on the move, man. So can't blame you on that. So, General Davis 29, Smitty broke stuff. It's that's the story of his life. But anyways, yeah, I know, right? Anyways, let's get down to it. Let's go with the normal rigmarole. So each of us picks a new topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. Topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we don't want to just talk about it amongst ourselves. We want everyone to be a part of the conversation. So if you have something to say, definitely post it inside the chat. Well, if it's something that's we're talking about, we'll put it inside with our conversations into the podcast once we post it. So let's get down to it, and so we're gonna start off with Lex, but let me just go off with a sidebar, because last week, in the last episode, I said to Lex, because I told her, it's hey, if you're gonna play Last of Us, I want your raw opinion of this, because you've never played Last of Us. You finally had the chance and you had the opportunity to do it, and then I was then I said, hey, if we can do the regular one and the expansion, I want your raw opinion of this. And so
you did.
This is Lex's Last of Us review. So
it is.
So what did you think, Lex?
Hold on, real quick before you get into it. This was a bet, though. This was a bet.
This wasn't a bet.
This is not a bet. Come on, guys.
I mean,
did we bet
you kind of
anything?
said it like, oh yeah, if you're able to finish it. You kind of said it like, yeah, right. Like she's not gonna get this
okay,
shit
did
done.
I say?
It's the same as
I said, bet. Hold my Red Bull was my comment. And sure enough, that night after the podcast, I ran out of here. I jumped on my PS4 and I was like, delete Overwatch, delete Monster Hunter, delete this to make room for the game because I have no room left on my PlayStation.
Okay, you know what? If you had to do all of that, okay, because like I could have sworn like we didn't bet anything. We'll go back to we'll roll the tape on the back and then I will see it again.
It wasn't like
but I will owe you
this. It was more of like a, yeah, sure, kid, if you can do it kind of thing.
I had my faith. I didn't think you were going to like, well, okay. So when you started streaming it,
you didn't have faith.
I was like, okay, she's going to stream Last of Us. That's awesome. You streamed your first night was 13 hours. And I was like,
15. 15 hours.
I was like, my God.
That's the whole game right there.
Yeah. Then what's even crazier is that I thought that was like, okay, so she did a one-off. She's going to do it. She's not going to do it again. She does another like 10 or 12 hour stream the next day. And then it was like a consistent, it was a.
No, so Monday I did the 13 hours, 15 with like chit-chatting and pauses and stuff. So then Tuesday I was like, well, we won't change Spoopy Tuesday. We'll still do Spoopy Games and Community and all that stuff. Because we always collab with another streamer on Tuesdays for Spoopy Tuesday. And so it was like, I'll play beforehand. So we maybe Tuesday got in like 2 hours.
Okay.
But then Wednesday, Thursday was just like full stop, all go. We're not stopping.
You just went
Wednesday,
full steam.
Yeah.
You went hardcore. And I have to say, like, and
that means, yeah.
And I have to say,
if you understand her and how she games, she's very much a night owl. And I appreciate that. That is all night. Those are the all night hours. Those are the like I love those times. And those are great times to get to just game.
Oh my
God. Do things. Like, I love it.
And so, I mean, I'm one of those people when like I'm invested in something, especially and it's not like that you said I couldn't do it, but I kind of put that in my head as he did say that because I knew if I put that mind frame in my head, I was going to do it. Because I was like, what if I hate this game? And I'm like, I don't want to play this. You know what I mean? Like, no, I have to finish it.
So what you're saying is that your driving fuel is that you had to make me assume that I'm throwing you on spite to make you assume that for you to drive to finish the game. I was like, I knew you were going to finish it. I didn't think you were going to finish that fast. Oh my God. Okay, whatever works for you. But your review of Last of Us, what do you got?
Well, I mean, obviously at this moment, this game just wholeheartedly hits full home run what we are going through right now. I mean, there's a pandemic going on that's turning people into mindless clickers, is what they call it. But but the thing is like we're going through a pandemic right now. People are dying, and so this game just hits so many sweet spots. I'm also a daddy's girl, and so playing as Joel from the get-go, I was surprised because here's the thing. I've seen a little bit of gameplay. I've kind of shielded myself for years from this, and the only gameplay I've seen is playing from Ellie. And so I didn't know I was going to play a majority of the game as Joel. I've always known that I was going to play this game. It was just a matter of, well, I know the second one's coming out now because I didn't have a PlayStation 3. And when I got the PlayStation 4, it had already been out for a while. And I was still recovering from a brain surgery, which people are like, what, that takes a month? Kind of. Like, yeah, my stitches are great after a month, but like it's a 6-month period to get like my vision back and then a full year of just like therapy, really. And like, you know, in that first 6 months, I don't have control of my emotions. So playing a game like this would not have been good.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would have been a nightmare. No.
Well, and like, let's be real. This last week and a half, I mean, most of my friends are not the color of me, and I match my walls. I mean, Smitty, I jokingly tell him he's my MySpace top 3, but Smitty's one of my best friends, you know? So the state of the world right now really has kept me to a point where, like, I'm not sleeping at night. and I'm not feeling great. But with keeping my mind occupied a little bit on this was kind of like an outlet. This was a way for me to get my frustrations out, because I can't go protest. I mean, I've got like an eggshell head, so if I get hit with anything, I'm down. So, you know, playing this was a release for me. There's so many little nuances, and I can't tell you how many times I said that in the game, where I just, like, it made me teary-eyed when someone was behind me and they were telling me something so important, and I only heard them in this headphone. Or, you know what I mean? Like, something happened and then you hit L3, which half the time my L3 didn't freaking work. And like, they stop and they turn and they're like, that's the escape. That's where we're going. And it was like, there's so many beautiful foreshadowings, like as if you're reading a book, right? And I always tell people the best books are the ones that foreshadow, and you think you know what's going to happen, but nay, it's not that. And this game was just, again, it hits so close to home right now. It was so beautifully done. I loved the fighting style. I didn't really get good with the bow until towards the end. Again, I still don't see well, so I don't have real good depth perception. And the lighting for that particular weapon is very light. It's a very light blue hue, but more on the white scale than the blue scale. And so it's a little difficult for me to see, because to me, it's like staring at a headlight. So like, yes, I can see that the headlight's on the back wall and there's a shadow in front of it. I need to hit that shadow. But then if I go in front of that shadow, am I going to hit the desk in front of them, or am I going to hit that person? So to me, it was a little frustrating, because I was definitely losing arrows when I could have gotten headshots. But again, that's a me issue. That's not a game issue. And a lot of people are like, oh, change it to colorblind. I'm not colorblind. And so this is not an issue that a lot of other people have. And I have this issue in a lot of games. But honestly, I liked that even during the daytime, there was a lot of shadowy areas that my character, I could be under something. And even a lot of the times when you're in and you're going out, you get like a whiteout effect, and that the game didn't do that. And it was more to real life in that aspect. And I absolutely loved it. And it was just, God, this game was so good.
Emotionally, like emotional value though, because I mean, there's a lot of crazy, like, you know, like emotional parts, like for even the the first 15 minutes, the tutorial was pretty crazy. So like, how did that hit you, if anything, like with those parts and stuff?
So I can't recall, and we're coming up on it. I can't recall if I cried after this scene. I might have. We'll see here in a second. Again, I'm a huge Daddy's girl. Like, I would go to heaven, like hell and back for my dad, willingly, and do it multiple times. So I think his connection to Ellie meant more to me. Like, yes, this was his daughter. Yes, the circumstances sucked. But to me, it was more of his connection with Ellie ran deeper, because it was for so long, and we got to create that bond essentially between Joel and Ellie, right? Obviously, his daughter means the world to him, and we don't need to know that bond for it to still matter. Oh my God. But knowing now, it's like, I don't know if I can watch it out of my side eye. It's just when they said, because there's a lot of people in chat who had never seen the beginning of the game, and they're like, wait, that's not Ellie. And I was like, no, this is his daughter. And I always knew Ellie wasn't his kid. Yeah, I'm about to, oh man. God, it's one of those things. It's like you feel for people. And I'm not someone who, oh yeah, my jaw dropped. I'm not someone who cries a lot. However, if I'm watching certain stuff, like between a dad and a kid, especially a daughter, things that hit like the current situations that's going on in my life, or, you know, in the world at that moment, can kind of make me really upset. I think I'm trying not to cry here, though I'm pretty much aware of what's happening.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you feel for the characters. Like, they're not real, but in my mind, it's like someplace somewhere this situation has happened before.
But it still seems like it's I mean, this level of escape that this game gave you, because the game does hit. I think it hit a pretty good tone when it comes for you to care for the people that you are playing as, especially when you saw the relationship between Joel and Ellie kind of blossom,
absolutely.
because you start from zero to wherever it ends. And so like when you see all that's currently happening, everything that they had to go through, what he had to go through to do what he was needing to do, you can't help but feel for that. I mean, like, it's just, if you don't, then you will have to be like a robot, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, this is one of the greatest games, and one of the greatest, especially the fact that this came out on PS3, but to have a game to play out more like a story or a movie where you get this kind of level of character development and these kind of raw emotions and things, not common at all. To me, this is why The Last of Us is one of the greatest games, in my opinion, ever, because of the because of the storytelling and this story in itself.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Yeah. And not only that, but then you have this crazy, like, you then also have the crazy kind of like not zombie, I don't want to say zombie, but like that, the horror elements of it as well, which is fun. I know it's really appealing to a lot of people. But again, the story of this game is this is a movie. Okay.
It easily is. Yeah.
That we got
playing it out.
That we got to see that they came out with. They hit us with some raw stuff. They hit us right in the emotions. We really haven't had games that have hit us like this, and I think that's why this game is so freaking amazing.
You know what I liked? And you kind of hit on a point. A lot of horror games will change the music to freak you out when nothing's going to happen. This game does not do that. And it had multiple levels of tones for where you were and shit's going down. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, whoa. And there was a few times where it was like, well, what was that? And I never found out. We were in a building and I'm in water. And as Joel, because Ellie can't swim, I have to do certain things and then come back for her, or backtrack, essentially. And there was a moment where I'm this deep in the water, I can touch. I'm not having to like wade. But something starts swimming at me and then goes that like that. And the music for that was just terrifying. I never found out what that was, and they never tell you.
Yeah.
And it's just little in like just the nuances of the music. And again, like if you're new to seeing me play games, I play a lot of games, like sound is a huge key factor for me because I don't see so well. So I have to take cues from the music, the footsteps behind me, which their footsteps were very loud. And a few times I would turn around like, ha, I gotcha. Like you were sneaking up on me and nothing was there. And I realized it was the echo of my own footsteps that I was hearing. So just those little things were just so meaningful, and like the hearing the voice in my right ear or the left ear because that's where they were standing, or like because sometimes you'll play a game and the music's really loud, right? And the person's talking to you and you're like, wait, what did he just say?
Yeah.
The music is like, why would you do that? And
by default, I usually but I'm sorry, but by default, I usually put the music down to 50% because of that, for that exact reason. So I understand.
And I usually do too, but someone was like, oh, you don't need to do that when we were first starting. They're like, it will volumize down. And I was like, I'll see, and then we'll go from there. I did start the game on normal and then went to easy because I was stuck in an area I couldn't see very well. And using my flashlight was like kind of getting me found out. So I did switch it to easy, and then I kind of forgot after like 3 hours that I needed to switch it back to normal. But I was like, you know what? I can always go back and play it again on normal or hard or suicidal, whatever, you know? And I want to enjoy this because at this point, this is a story and I want to enjoy it. I haven't been sleeping. I'm shaking. This game's like tugging at my heartstrings. I've cried on stream now. Great. It was like, no, let me just enjoy it. But it's just, the whole thing was just so great and fantastic. And there's so much death. And it was like, that's what really hit me. It's like, man, like I could lose my friends like that for no good reason. And, no matter what the circumstances. And that's what really hit me this week. And a lot of people at the end were like, what did you think of the ending? Like, and then a few people were like, I've never understood why she asked him that. And I was like, oh, I absolutely know why she asked him that. And I don't know if you want me to talk about that.
Yeah. I was going to say real quick, if you haven't played through this and you plan on it, close your ears listening at this point right now, because I can't remember. I haven't played this. I beat it 6 or 7 years ago, so I want to, and I'm gonna go and do I don't think I could do a playthrough in enough time at this point in time.
Well, you have enough time.
Probably could, but
you have enough time.
Do I have enough time? Yeah. Should I buy it and do it? I'm gonna do it.
It's by the way, like you should get. It's
plenty of time
on the PlayStation Store right now. It's like there's a lot of AAA games that are $10 right now. Like
this was only $20.
Yeah, now it's $10 on the PSN. Yeah. So
night.
Yeah, so another one that I think you should check out is Days Gone, and that's only $15 right now. So
Me?
I think you would.
Ooh, that's 15.
Yeah, that's $15. So
Days Gone's been on my list.
Yeah,
let me type that in.
But
I don't know what that's about. I'll look.
It's kind of like the same. It's kind of like the same thing. It's a zombie apocalypse kind of thing, but you're in a bike. You were a part of a biker gang.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was actually pretty cool. But I digress. What were you gonna say, Lex?
So,
you're talking about the spoiler.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, also, while we were playing the game, I had a lot of trolls come in, and I haven't looked at any of the new Last of Us 2. I didn't want to spoil it for myself. I haven't seen any video of gameplay, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the second this comes out, that's what we're doing again. We're going to play through it in 1 week. So a lot of people are coming in. They're like, oh, this is a crappy, I'm paraphrasing because the word they used was to see you next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
This is a see you next Tuesday feminist BS game. And how dare you play it? And then my chat's like, then why are you here? I don't understand. Well, I had to voice my opinion. And I'm like, nobody asked you though. And so in my mind, I'll be honest, I thought she was going to get sexually
assaulted.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And then when that didn't happen in the DLC, I was a little surprised. Now, there was innuendos that it did happen, and maybe we don't see it. Or at least that's how I felt from a female perspective. Because man, that dude was creepy. I don't even remember what that dude's name is that nabbed her.
Yeah.
We called him Creepy Greg. But at the end of the game, again, plug your ears if you don't want to hear this. This is the ending. So you learn that you're going back to Tommy's settlement, and Ellie makes Joel swear that he was telling the truth about the Fireflies. And his response to her is they stopped looking for a cure. There are dozens more like you that are immune to the virus. And she says, okay. Now, people are like, I don't understand why she asked that. Well, if you remember, through the whole exchange, she's out. So she gets knocked unconscious before they go into the building and actually speak to the Fireflies. When Joel comes to, he learns that they're prepping her for surgery. So if you think about it, she was knocked unconscious, they stabilize her, but she never wakes up before they then put her under for surgery, right? And then Joel finds out that they have to scrape this stuff off of her brain. Well, let me tell you, the place that it's in your brain is not something you come back from. And they're like, well, she won't feel anything. No, you're right, she won't. She'll be under, but she'll be dead. There's no waking her up. It's basically doing a lobotomy. And it's a 50-50 shot that she'll become conscious again. And at that, she'll most likely be in a vegetative state. So he says no when he finds out that there are more people who, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I'm aware, he didn't lie about that part, that there are other people who are immune to it, and that's how they know.
Yeah, he lied.
The surgery. Yeah,
he
so
lied.
he did.
Yeah. He was trying to, he lied to her, so he can, to give the alibi on it. He doesn't, logically it makes sense that there has to be more people, but he
absolutely
didn't,
and then on one of the voice recorder it does say that they've done the surgery on someone who was immune, but because I guess they didn't get enough from them, they did need more people, and I don't know if they had found more people yet that are immune, because how do you know if you're immune unless you get bit, right?
Or killed, yeah.
Right. So yes, they did need her essentially, and yes, she could save people. The question, the big key word there is could. It wasn't a guarantee that they could make a vaccine from her, because it may not be enough, right? She's young, she's small, she's a petite woman in general. She's not fully developed. She hasn't hit a growth spurt. So, you know what I mean? She's little, which means her head is still little. And when you're under the age of 18, your brain's still developing. So she has a smaller brain than an adult human anyways, which is what they had said in the tape recorder that they had done the surgery on. But Ellie knows, and someone was like, the reason they didn't understand that exchange, here's the thing from Ellie knows he's lying to her, but she needs to hear him say those words, right? It's like when shit's going down in your life and you just need your mom or dad, even as an adult, to tell you it's going to be okay. You know that's not necessarily 100% truthful, but that's something that you need to hear. And I think that's what the ending meant. Ellie needed to hear it, yes, Dax, come from him. And I think because the way he presented it and the way he said it, I think no matter what he would have said, she would have said okay. But he needed to lie to her to protect her, though she knows the truth, right?
Right.
So, and to her, it was like, please tell me that we didn't do all of this for nothing, right? And he's just kind of like blasé-faire, they don't need you. It's okay, you know? And in her mind, she's probably thinking, well, then why am I in a hospital gown? I was definitely put under. You know what I mean? Right. What was going on and how long was I out for? I think he even lies to her about the time, how long she's out for. So
yeah, Joel's not a good liar, essentially.
No, but he loves her and he cares about her. And I think that's the point of it, you know?
Well, then from that ending, and I played through and I forgot all about all that shit. I gotta do this again.
This is not including the DLC, by the way.
Right, and that's what I was gonna point out then. What then is taken from the DLC and how does it extrapolate upon that story and where it leaves off?
So the DLC starts where Joel has just been injured. So that's where it starts. Joel has just been injured in the fall where he has the rebar go through him, right? And he's on death's door. And Ellie saves him. They get out. She does all of the shooting to get him out of the building. They get on the horse. They go, I would say maybe a mile and a half. He falls off. He blacks out for days. Ellie, and it's starting to be winter. Ellie is then his sole caregiver, so she's having to shoot and kill their food and go find help, and that's where it takes place when he's been injured. I don't want to tell you too much, Smitty, because I want you to play the DLC.
Why don't you just say it's mostly like a flat, where she's saying it's taken place when all that happened. So but then at the same time,
because they kind of skip over that.
Exactly, it's more like a flashback. It's like during that time, Ellie's remembering the time when she had to do that before, and then that's where the new adventure begins of Ellie and her friend.
So she does have flashbacks to her friend during that time, but it's that because you get a 3-month span of it skips that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you meet this guy who's just real creepy Greg, as we called him. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of that interaction too. And that's when you start playing as Ellie a lot. So
okay, well, to kind of cut it short though, because you've been going on, but overall, so what was your overall how'd you like? No, this is what I wanted.
Rude.
But Hey, we're on the time crunch, man. I'm just going to make sure we have the time. Yeah. So overall, what'd you think?
I loved it. I definitely think it is a game 18 and up because there is a lot of triggering content. A few times, Luna and some of a younger crew that are allowed to stay in my stream came through to say hi, and I was like, "Bye, you need bye out." And I checked to make sure that they were not in chat before I continued. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it's a game that a lot of people should play. I think if you or a secret bleeding heart like myself, this is definitely a game for you, and I think you will enjoy it. And if you love books and good story and good content in general, I mean, there's no disliking this game.
Would you say this is a masterpiece, though? Like, I mean, like, is like technically in my books, this is
a
very rare.
This is
5,
10 out of
like
10.
A 10 out of 10. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, this is 10 out of 10. Like, could be made into a movie and just absolutely not just make it big at the box office, but be like a cult classic after. I think this is it was phenomenally done. The gameplay was amazing. I can't complain about a single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even the parts that I didn't see well, I can't complain about it. It was that good. There's nothing I loved it. Everyone should play it.
Yeah, I knew you would like that, and I just feel like number 2 kind of has big shoes to fill. I really hope it is, because I mean, this game was announced 5 years ago. Last of Us Part 2 was announced 5 years ago at PlayStation Experience, the second one, and so let's just hope that it brings it as good as the first one did. So. But,
and I know that Lex hasn't. Davies, have you watched anything as far as Last of Us 2? I know I haven't seen anything on it. I haven't watched gameplay. I am very much the same as Lex. I like to go in blind and experience it for myself.
It's actually funny because like we originally we did get an email for the state of play about Last of Us Part 2. I opted not to do it because I knew we weren't going to be eligible to get review keys for it. But so the only thing that I know about it was the first initial announcement trailer that happened when they said they're making it. It's in production. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave it like that because Last of Us Part 1, the first Last of Us, put something like it was something very special to me. So I think the second one, I was going to keep it the same way to keep it going. And so I think that, so no, I'm going to be in the dark as much as everyone else is for this one.
I had done
the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I had done for LAN parties, we did a interview with Chris Laporte. It's a dude that owned Insert Coins.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, again, kind of, off of him, like, this is probably one of the greatest games ever.
Story-wise, definitely,
Yeah, definitely. And like, not even like, I mean, again, like, there's so many other things. It's like, oh yeah, that's just basic game mechanics and stuff like that. But like, none of that stuff matters because this story was so intriguing and so like, I don't know how you don't connect with a game like this. This is a game that says, this is what video games is about. This is what video games can do to you on an emotional level, on a level that you get to, you know what I mean? Like, this to me, I mean, yeah, absolutely, dude. Like, this is one of those games that really just highlights how amazing video games really are and what you can do with it. And again, this game came out on a PlayStation 3.
Yep, on the last year. We already
know, like, and even exactly. And we know, like, the graphics for that generation were pretty solid. I had it on PS3. I didn't have it on PS4. Although I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna try to grind through it.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't think a lot. Yeah. I mean, I know there are. I mean, as always, it's there are naysayers of this game, but for the most part, I don't usually see a lot of people saying anything bad about this game. So
yeah, we had those people.
How are there even naysayers though?
I don't know.
I don't understand. Like,
they're like, "Oh, it's all feminist." I'm like, "Where?"
Well, you know what they say. I mean,
gamer feminist.
Yeah.
Well, for her, she said that she had some people in her chat that was saying that it was feminist and stuff. I don't know. I don't understand, but
this is a see you next Tuesday
Yeah,
with a Y.
It's subjective.
Feminist game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I know one of my people on my staff on CFG didn't like Last of Us. So I mean,
fire him.
But like I
This is
said,
crazy.
but gaming is subjective. That's the fun part about it, you know. So who knows? All right, we'll just
it is.
Yeah,
I would like to figure out what they think a good game is.
I totally.
Conversation.
Susan B, I totally agree with you there. When you say nay, I say I totally agree. I don't get it, but hey, whatever. They must have their own reasons. But let's leave it
They
at
don't
that.
like the human experience. I mean,
Did you not go deeper into that conversation as to why they didn't?
It's like my heart feels funny. I don't like it, and it just shuts it down. I don't know,
Yeah.
but we'll give it at that. No, I mean I'm not gonna blame them. They have their own thing. But anyways, okay. So now, man, we talk about the first Last of Us, a game that came out 7 years ago for 40 minutes. That's impressive. So there we go. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a nice.
He kept asking me questions.
Hey, that dude. It's normally a 15-20 hour game, so I think it was good enough.
I know.
I think we need to do
the DLC. It was about 25. I think.
Yeah, I think we need to do a spoiler cast for 2 because I know we're all going to play it. So we might as well. So we'll see.
Oh, I have it pre-ordered.
Oh yeah, so we'll go with that. All right, so let's go to the next topic. You know, pretty much the other 2 topics are not going to compare in comparison, thanks to Lex, but still we'll go with this. So I'm going to do a follow-up from last week about saying about the PlayStation 5 announcement experience that they were going to do on Thursday. And so as everyone probably have already know that the PS5, that event got postponed due to obvious reasons of what's currently happening in the climate right now, like especially with Black Lives Matters and things like that. So earlier in the week, PlayStation did release a tweet out on their official PlayStation blog. It said that we have decided to postpone the PlayStation 5 event scheduled June 4th. While we understand gamers worldwide are excited to see PS5 games, we do not feel that right now is a time for celebration and for now. And for now, we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard. Yes, and it's funny. When they tweeted this, I had people send me this saying, "Oh, I know you're so disappointed because people listen to our podcast. Thank you for that, by the way, because they know how much me and Smitty have been bitching about. Like, we want more information. We can't wait for this information. Yeah. This is the stuff that we wanted to do." And then I was like, that's fine. I think it's perfectly fine. Gaming is I mean, we're gamers. We like to play games and stuff, but at the same time, that doesn't take precedence over what's currently happening. I mean, the most important thing right now is this movement, is the Black Lives Matters movement that's happening right now, and to not and for Sony, a game studio who didn't have to acknowledge this, to say that they could have just gone and pretended that this wasn't happening and they were going to do their own thing because this is something that they've been wanting to do. They to do that, it's good on them. It's good because they're listening, they're paying attention to what's going on, what's currently happening, and then and wanting to do it. So for right now, as of right now, they don't have a date to reschedule. But they are going to, I'm assuming it's going to either be in a week, maybe 2 weeks, because EA Play was going to do an event next week on the 11th, but then they postponed that to the 18th. So I'm assuming it could possibly be next Thursday for this kind of thing. So yeah, so I just think it was a good move on them. So I just wanted to get what y'all's opinions were on this. So like, what did y'all think?
Let Smitty go first.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I agree 100%. You already know we were hyped. We were super hyped to talk about it. We've been waiting for PlayStation. But sometimes things happen where they're more important. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they came out and were able to publicly say that and do that and say we're going to go ahead and postpone this event, so that we don't drown out other
more important voices. Yeah,
exactly. I thought was fantastic. They're not the only ones. I know that there was Call of Duty, and they pushed back their season. There's been some other ones, other people, and there's still things that are coming in that they're still like saying, hey, we're gonna stop. We're going to take a moment. On the other side of that, though, again, this isn't the first time that we've had this conversation. So it always makes me kind of question and wonder why now and not before? Because I'm pretty sure this has been going on the whole time. Nobody has spoken out beforehand. And again, I'm not trying to be a person that's not, because I think what they're doing absolutely is fantastic, but this is nothing new. The same, you had mentioned something about the NFL. I haven't watched the NFL in the grip, where I'll watch it here and there and whatnot because of their response to Colin Kaepernick, which now we're seeing. And again, this is this to
4
me
years
is
later.
more about sales and being able to sell shit. Now you want to say, hey, in retrospect, we kind of messed up there.
Yeah, but
it's like you lost my respect 4 years ago.
Hold on for that thought, that moment.
Opportunity, huh?
No, hold on for a thought that moment, because when you were saying, it's actually a good point in what you're saying, but like, I kind of feel that what's happening that made this different, because you're right, because like 2016 to now, nothing has changed towards what it was initially, because like what happened with the things that happened in Missouri, and what Colin Kaepernick decided to take a knee and everything for that. This is the same BS that was happening then to what's happening now, but the difference is that the communal wise, no one like to this level of people to be fighting back towards it is nowhere near anything I've ever seen. We've lived through like the Rodney King times, for crying out loud. Like, you remember that? Even with that, that was back in 91, 92, and then when it came to like riots and stuff that was happening in LA, it was only happening in LA. We weren't seeing any movements in Texas, in like Michigan, all these different kinds of states that kind of come in towards this. It just feels, for some odd reason, and it's beyond me, because this is the one thing I've really never understood, is how did this specific event push people to be like, oh my God, this really happened? I mean, like, Philando Castile happened in the same freaking state.
Daylight. I saw the video not realizing what I was going to be watching, and it is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen in my life. I don't give a shit who you are. That was absolutely disgusting and despicable, and it shouldn't take a moment like that for change like this to happen. But that's kind of my point, though, too, as far as with that, is that this escalation was inevitable. The stuff beforehand should have been that change, should have been that spark off, or that ignition of something. There's nothing stopping anybody, any of these companies now that this is great PR, this is great, and we're all in solidarity. Nothing should have stopped them from years ago being able to speak up and do something about it. Yeah. So again, that's my as far as with that stuff lies, because it's real quick to jump on this now. But where were you then? Where were you on lives that have been lost? The countless amount of things that aren't reported as far as inequality, injustices, this and that. Now that it's all trendy and everybody's on board, now I'm on board. They could have made those changes. They could have taken a stand beforehand, and they haven't. So I think it's great that they're doing this, but I still have, like, for me, there's still that reservation. The same with the NFL. Now the NFL, we realize that we made a mistake, or blah blah blah. Like, that's all bullshit to me.
Well, I mean, they ruined the man's career. I mean, they essentially did. They
them too.
They ruined.
And then they went and got a stick. Hey, Jay-Z, come let the black people know that it's cool to be cool with the NFL again. Like, that in itself is a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? But now we got people donating millions. Now we got people. But these are the actionable changes that's all that we've been asking for. Yeah. It's like, listen, this shit is real. This is real stuff. And now companies want to. And again, I'm appreciative of that. And absolutely, I think it's fantastic. I love seeing that. But it's just like, damn it, dude. Like, we can prevent things and prevent it from escalating to points where everybody, you know what I mean? You got things going on all around the world. It's not even just George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, so many other unjust deaths, and nothing has come from.
None of this.
Freaking my man's Ahmaud Arbery.
Oh my God.
Until 3 months later. Where in any reality can you murder somebody and not even
broad daylight?
In broad ass daylight, chase somebody down, and it takes you 3 months to get. I've been in jail on some less shit than that. Come on now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. And then what MT Man was saying, but realization is where it starts. That's true. Realization is where it starts. But the fact that it's 2020 and the realization just started now is no excuse. Absolutely none.
It's too little too late.
I mean, like we've had, this issue is something that has been transcending for a long time. We've had video proof of this stuff happening for years. 4 years ago was just as bad and stuff like that towards it, and stuff like that. But like overall, it's just that, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad that the movement is definitely finally coming as strong as it finally has. It's been a long time coming for this to be happening, and I think this is something that is going to be better for everybody. But like at the same time, it's like the level of frustration, because like my biggest worry is this. There's two worries I have. The big worry is like it's awesome that they charging the police officers for this heinous act. But the biggest fear is that, are they going to get charged for it? Are they going to get convicted? Because it's hard to convict a police officer for anything like for these kind of crazy crimes. Just what happened yesterday. You remember the guy the man who was protesting, and then the two cops pushed him down. And then, they arrested them, but then because of that, 51 police officers quit their job to back it up for that reason, and that guy wasn't even black. And so, like,
they didn't necessarily quit their job.
They're not on the riot side of it.
They're still police officers. Which is even more disturbing.
Yeah, which is insane. So, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's just like, I'm sorry. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, but like, I mean, to do this just for that kind of thing, because like the code in blue is very, very, very strong, and mixed with like regular like judicial ties and stuff. It's crazy. So like, I mean, I understand the frustrations is like, where were y'all a long time ago? Yeah, but at this point we can't think like that. The fact of the matter is like this is where we're at right now. The fact is that companies are now starting to see this stuff, even as superficial as they possibly may be, because screw the NFL can take their apology and just shove it right up their ass for all I care.
I mean, Kaepernick lost his whole career.
And it wasn't just Kaepernick completely lost his career for it. Sorry, he was the main focal point. But keep in mind, the people that was a part of Kaepernick's thing, some people didn't get their jobs back either. I mean, it hurt people. So like,
the president of the United States calling you a son of a bitch.
Yeah. So like, I mean, we just gotta, now it was just like, we just need to just make sure we keep the movement going, and then just keep this, keep people active in this kind of thing. That is going to be the trick. So it's awesome that Sony's doing what they're doing. I mean, we really digress from what we were talking about, but like, but
it all goes together.
Yeah, it all goes together. But it's but like, and gaming is not. There's not going to be a time where we got to have our games over the real life stuff that people need to be attentive and listening to see what's going on. So so this one's pretty crazy. Let's say Kitsander, they didn't quit because of the brutality. They quit with the ERT squad to protest the officers being held accountable. They're
crazy.
They're being they're saying that, but they left the squad because they're the two cops that were being punished, because now those cops are being charged too for that push, which is weird.
Right.
Like
they're in protest for the police officers.
Yeah, for the police officers, not for the guy. Yeah. I'm sorry, what were we gonna say, Lex?
So you're talking about the older gentleman that walked towards them in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
He was handing them back a riot helmet. That was the police officers that got dropped. And it was just amazing to see that happen. And then all of the posts saying, oh, it's just SFX makeup. I'm sorry, I do SFX. I used to do it for a living. I can tell you right now that is not makeup. Y'all stop. That man lost consciousness. And here's the thing. I am obviously, look, and I'll give my friends the floor all day, because clearly I can never understand what they go through on a daily basis. And that's what all of this is what it has to do with. And I think that it's a time where, again, we can't lose steam, and it has to keep up. I mean, every bit of money that I've had has gone to the Bail Project, to Stephanie Wilkins, who, Citizen has been helping me try to track her down. She's got a GoFundMe going on. Her whole neighborhood was burnt down. And poor thing, she's disabled. She can't go out. So I donated $400 that I had. That's all I had left. I gave it to her. And they haven't even found her yet.
Oh, wow.
So essentially, anything I can do to help, because again, I can never understand what my friends go through. I can't begin to understand how they feel. And I mean, just this week alone, someone in the community said something a little insensitive in the Discord, and I called them out on it, and they didn't want to, pop up and take responsibility for the insensitiveness. Instead, they wanted to argue with me. And I was like, okay, bye, Felicia. I don't want to hear that. I don't want you whining and first world complaining, because there are bigger issues going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's an interesting time, but I'm still not over it. Over what's going on with all this. It really does.
I imagine this shit pisses me off. This is the same shit that has been going on. The fact that people even try to defend this kind of behavior and stuff like that, there is no defending it.
No,
because I guarantee if it's somebody that's close to you, then you're gonna feel some kind of way about it and whatnot. But this is the same stuff that we very much know happens and has been happening for years. And what Davis, I agree with him 100%. It doesn't, that stuff is, and this is why I'm not like going out like, oh, this is bull now. You guys want to be about it. It's like, I don't care. I'm just happy that you guys are about it now. Yeah. Let's make some change. This is what we've, this is what, this is what has been talked about forever. But it's crazy though, because on the flip side of things, as far as on the gaming aspect, you had a lot of people too that were upset that these companies were doing these postponements, or saying, this is not the right time.
Check
We're
Twitter's.
Go ahead and hold off on it.
Dude, check PlayStation's Twitter page. It's funny as heck. It's insane. I was like, holy crap.
I know who to block now.
It is crazy.
NT man,
coughing from your racist closet.
You where people stand. With a lot of this stuff.
I mean,
and I'm just glad that there's some backing now, especially from major companies. That people are actually going to listen. This message has always been the same. This shit's been the same for years. But I feel like it again, it gets a little more momentum, and exactly like Lex is saying, we got to keep that momentum going, because we shouldn't have to deal with this stuff. I had a conversation with my now 6-year-old daughter about racism and stuff like that. I had to talk. As a black person, you have to talk, or you have a talk with your parents about how you interact with cops and stuff. I didn't realize that everybody didn't get that talk until much later on in life.
I literally had to do that with my nephew like 3 days ago. I definitely understand, because I told him when I went out protesting on Tuesday, and I told him and I think he's pretty much, I mean, my sister's very well off, so he's not experiencing, he probably hasn't experienced the things well hand as much as what we ever have when we were growing up. So I wanted to let him know, to be aware about it. And it's a weird, it's a terrible talk. It's kind of funny. It's like, you think it's like the birds and the bees talk, and then you got to talk about the racism talk, and it's just like, it's so bad. It's like, he's only 10 years old, and it's like, it's sad that you kind of have to put him aside to let him know. It's like, hey, you got to keep one eye open on what you're doing, because people will automatically think that you're a threat, regardless of what you're doing. You got to be very, very careful, very, very careful of certain things. And then it could be something as micro as a backhanded compliment, or something as like you're going to the store and with your friends, and then, or you're at a grocery store, and then there's a guy that's always looking at you from the behind to make sure that you're not stealing anything and stuff like that. I mean, we see it all the time. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, those kind of things is like, I just told him to be aware of those kind of stuff. So, I'm sorry.
I asked Smitty last week. I said, at some point, I may have to come over with my goddaughter Danny, who's mixed, and me and her mom had this conversation. Like, I mean, when it comes to the tough talks, it's kind of my job because sometimes Brandy loses steam in what she's supposed to talk about. But I told her, I was like, I can take Danny. I mean, I can have that conversation with her, but I can't give her hand accounts. But I'm sure Smitty and Lincoln are happy to explain that because she's 2 years younger. I believe 2 or 3 years younger than Lincoln. Danny is 4 right now, but that's a conversation obviously that we're going to have. And her older sisters are they're not mixed, but they're scared to death. And Brandy was talking, she's like, well, she doesn't look it now, but when she gets older, she's gonna be playing outside. She's gonna get a tan. There's certain, and it's sad that that's things that she has to even think about, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I have an issue, and it's like I've never understood racism. I'll be honest. I've always seen people as what makes you unique isn't your skin color, right? If you're a decent human being and we have things in common, like that's all I care about, and I've never understood that. And to me, it's full, but just seeing the writhing hate come from people's mouths makes me sick. And I haven't slept all week. I told Smitty that. I'm like, I'm going to bed at 9, 10 a.m. and then maybe waking up at 11 or noon because I just can't sleep. I can't sleep.
Hopefully we'll see this kind of levels of change. Like, I like what NT Man said earlier. He says, I'll tell you what made me proud to be a human again was seeing the world's reaction to this and countries backing up messages, protesting on our behalfs. And I mean, I totally agree. It's like, it kind of does put you put a little thing into you just saying like, oh wow, people do care. And as much as the level that this has definitely spawned is something that we've needed for a long ass time. So it's great to see. Yeah. And also something that NT Man said too, it's kind of like, it's sad that children had to grow up with those thoughts in mind. And what's it broke my heart a little bit when I had to put because like I was talking to my sister a long time ago when I gave my nephew the talk the other day, and I was like, I wanted to, like, it sucks that you have to have that in your mind, like saying you don't want to throw a wet towel when a kid is growing up, and then like, you don't want to, like, I mean, you said you gave the talk to Lincoln. Lincoln's only 6 years old. And then it's like, and now you're like, you're embedding something into her development to say you can't trust people. I mean, like, you can't. And that's what sucks. It's like, it's a horrible like way of thinking of it. And then like, it tears my heart away to be like, to tell my nephew that living your life is great, but at the same time, people are out there to get you, and you need to be careful on anything that you do. Opening a door too fast, going into the glove compartment too fast, staying in your house in an area, or like, so many different scenarios that you would think that you're safe or you're comfortable. You're not. And that's just the simple realism of it. And it's like, it sucks I have to tell him that, and he's 10 years old. It's like, it's so annoying.
The first time I was called the N-word, I was 10.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's like, it's just like that. Those kind of small, simple things, and it's like I said, it can be something a small gesture. It can be something huge, but who knows? So. Anyways, let's cut that short because like I'm starting to get a little.
That topic in itself is a whole episode.
Yeah, it really is. But all right. So the last but not least, we got Smitty's third topic. What do you bring to the table, Muddy? It's Smitty.
So you guys know we hit the heavy stuff. We're gonna lighten it up here on this last one. So you guys know, and I really haven't played a lot of this season of Destiny 2. Just because I'm not a big Rasputin fan when they've gotten into the Rasputin stories. However, earlier tonight, actually, or earlier today, they had a live event, which was basically the culmination of this past season. This past season was, the season of the worthy or something like that. Essentially what we were doing was going around into the war mines, building up these bunkers, because there was a big threat coming in Destiny. and Rasputin's job essentially is to protect humanity. It's this huge AI robot with all kinds of intricate things, and we've been building it out to help protect us. The culmination of this season, however, and I didn't realize, otherwise I would have put a lot more time into this season, I guess, was actually they did a live event, and that was here a couple hours ago, and it was really cool what they did. I'm going to try to get the video here in a second, but it was about a 90-minute live event there. They also had their weekly reset. This is something that was planned. But essentially there is this huge ship called the Almighty. If you played last season, the Scion flares from last season, essentially, which were manipulating time and stuff, basically got this ship, killed the engine so that in the correct time and space for this huge ship to come hurtling into essentially what is that?
I think we got bits. That's why I didn't know we had bit announcements. But no,
I was like, where's that coming from?
Thank you, Dave Knight.
Hey, thank you so much for the bits, my friend. Yeah, so essentially, they've got the ship coming, and that's where we have to build up Rasputin's bunkers to basically take down his ship. I'm gonna go over to the video here. This is from the live event earlier. Like I said, it was about a 90-minute event. But essentially, and I wish I would have been a part of this. This is where I missed. This is really cool on Destiny's part. I think this is their first kind of like Fortnite, and I do it with air quotes, live event. I really want to see more games do things like this. The big grip from it that I got from this was that basically the first 70 minutes was like nothing. There was barely some stuff. As you can see the video going in, there's streaks. This is Rasputin actually shooting missiles at this ship. This lasted like a good 70 minutes.
Really?
Like I said,
70 minutes?
That's so cool.
Oh my gosh.
The event in totality is like 90 minutes. The first 70 minutes is all this stuff. So I'm going to scrub through video a little bit, but then you can see it starts getting closer, and then these missiles start actually hitting the ship and whatnot. The cool part, though, comes in about 70 minutes. This really is where that live event. I mean, it would have been cool even being there and seeing these little things like, whoa, like this thing's like actually moving in real time and whatnot. I'm gonna drop here to about the 70-minute mark. Basically, they blow up this ship is what happens, as you can see. And this is all live event stuff. The ship starts coming down onto Earth. It actually takes out a piece of the tower, which is the main hub within Destiny 2. If you don't play it or anything like that.
That was the old tower, right? Like where the first origination point was. Like
right.
Oh wow!
And, like by old Russia, off of Earth and whatnot. So I thought this was really, again, I haven't really seen anything like this. The seed runs over so you can get a better view. But you have this real-time stuff happening. You have debris falling down and whatnot. I think this is probably one of the coolest ends to a season or this part of a story that has happened on Destiny. Had I known into this season that this was something that was going to happen, which I don't think this is necessarily something that was planned. It wasn't necessarily part of their roadmap. This is after like roadmap stuff. But the fact that they did this, they put this kind of detail, they gave us this live thing happening as you're in there. Like, I wanted to be a part of this so badly after I watched this. I was like, why not? Why not? You know what I mean? It's like, I was like, the Almighty, what the hell is that? You know, like a little bit of fragments of this and that of it. This is really, really cool. What they did, and I really want to see them do more things like that, to actually be there, feel this. Again, I know some of you guys, Fortnite does a lot of this stuff, and I love seeing it now going into other games and other people utilizing things like this within their game structure, because it really does bring people in. You're getting to experience this stuff, this story, all that grind. You have and then
there's Shockwave.
Shockwave. Yo, a piece of the tower is knocked off from debris from this almighty ship. being blown up.
Wow.
This is a payoff to a season. As far as with this, again, this is something that Fortnite has done. I really feel like that has revolutionized within gaming. I want to see more things like this in games like this, because gosh damn, man, that's good.
Yeah,
this is good. This is good.
So is this part of this? Okay, so this was the season's ending. Was this like a part of the main story that was going on, or are we talking about like
this was the whole and this story is, and I started, again, you guys know how I felt about a year ago about Destiny 2. This is the piece that got knocked off from the tower.
That's so sick.
And it's so crazy, right? And then you could talk to Zavala. He had something to talk about it and stuff like that too. I had no idea this was going to be happening. But I was super, I had, again, I'm a vanilla Destiny player. I've been on that grind mode for a grip. Destiny 2 out the gate really disappointed me. I walked away from it. I had nothing but just bad things to talk about. But then we knew when it went free to play, and it wasn't even a free to play aspect of it, because I ended up spending the money on the DLCs anyway. But the DLCs were really good. That's how they should have started Destiny 2, was at that point, and then build off of that. I don't know why they did what they did. Or make a game that had actually differences with enemies and stuff would have been great, initially. Yeah. I mean, still, well, and that was the kind of the weird thing too, is because initially I thought with the Almighty, we still know that there is a race of beings in this universe that have not been revealed to us. Yeah. I thought the Almighty was going to, and I thought the Almighty was going to introduce this new race as well. But again, I wasn't really following along this season. So maybe now I'm just disappointed in myself that I didn't follow along. And they had this is the end of the season. I was like, I would have felt a lot more. I guess I would have felt better about the payoff at the end had I known that something like this was coming. Yeah. I would have put more of a grind into it and followed along. I won't make that mistake again next season. Immediately watching this, I wanted to hop into Destiny, but it's too late. Too late. Now you have to say that. No, that's pretty cool. So you're right, because the time when we saw what was it, the live concerts that Fortnite is coming into, now Destiny to be doing it. You know what? Actually, I'm glad that Destiny did this, because now this shows me something that there's no way Destiny is getting that same kind of money intake that what Fortnite's getting, but yet they were able to do something kind of cool and special for their community by doing something like this. So it's very doable for other games that are long service games to do this stuff for their communities. I would love to see more like that, because but the real question is, would you say that this one was more into your tone than how Fortnite was, or was it the other way around? Did you prefer how Fortnite implemented it than what Destiny did? I've never done an actual live event in any game, to be honest. I've only ever caught them on, later on in videos and stuff like that. So I personally have never participated in this. I knew that there was a live event happening, but I thought it was their announcement event, because I know that they had talked about pushing that back. And I thought maybe that's what this was. I didn't realize that this was actually a live event like this. Otherwise, I would have been in the game, and I would have recorded it and all that stuff. I had no idea, even though I would have gone in not knowing what the hell was going on, because I really didn't play a lot of this season. This to me, especially within that space, I'm more apt to get into an event like this on Destiny than I would say Fortnite. Okay. So this, absolutely, especially these service games like this, you do this. This is a reward for playing and grinding that stuff out, and being able to get to the completion of that storyline, or at least this part of the story of that season. Yeah. Day Night with 01 says, I keep hearing Smitty saying Fortnite is his favorite game. I agree. Shut your face. Shut your face. Don't forget, though, I started playing Fortnite before there was a Battle Royale. So, you guys already know how I feel about Battle Royales, and that Battle Royale in particular. But I will always defend to save the world. I will defend Epic and what they did with that game, even though they killed Paragon, and I love Paragon. They did it right.
Tactics X7 says it's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but I feel Bungie could do much more for the game. And you know what's funny? I'm on the same boat with Tactics on that. I agree that it was because like it's hard for me to play a game, give a game a second chance, and so if I'm just patient, I think what I learned my lesson on is like with games like Destiny is like I don't do it immediately. Just give it like 2 years and then see where it's going to go. Unfortunately, the way to do that. But like because I was totally underwhelmed when Destiny 2 first came out, and you were too, Smitty, like you said. But then they made the right moves later on that made the game more interesting. But it's like during that time, it's like you have other games, you have this other stuff to do, you know. So yeah, it's definitely one that would be a good. It was a slow burn. Hopefully, what we wanted Anthem to do, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Don't talk about that game.
I just want to see more. I want to see more things like this. You know what I mean? Especially if they're like this to me, and I'm pretty sure this is this was a first for Destiny as far as something actually being done, you know, live with people in the server and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I think that they could have sped it up a little bit. I think they're a little too much. I mean, you're talking about a 90-minute sequence essentially happening, and the real action doesn't happen till the last 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a lot of time with people just sitting there looking up at this thing, being like, "What the hell is happening? I'm out."
Did they market this?
They said, "Be here," and
like, did they market it in any way? Like, I mean, did they say there was going to be a special in-game event that was going to happen when they did this?
I think only recently it's been marketed, because this is essentially outside of the roadmap for Season 11, Season of the Worthy, which, again, I know some people complain about that. Why is this called Season of the Worthy, where this should have been Season of Build Rasputin shit so he can blow up this ship, or however you want to call it, whatever they want to call it, I don't care. You know, but yeah, I think this was something that they maybe were already working on, and it was kind of we're not gonna announce it until they're for sure that they can actually accomplish this. So this is something that I don't like. Again, I wasn't sure. I didn't realize that this live event that they announced, I thought this was going to be them, because they were talking about, here's, you know, the roadmap for the next season. So I didn't know that they're going to have a live event that actually was going to have sequences that pertain to the story and whatnot. It made me kick myself in the butt and say, why didn't I stick with this story throughout? Because this payoff would have been amazing. And it's still amazing.
It would take
to
forever.
Be invested in the season.
Yeah, it would take forever.
That would have taken forever.
It's like if someone
I would have been that guy that would have been there for 90 minutes, being like, this is some boring ass shit. Except for that last 20 minutes is hot.
There's too many games you got to play, dude. You got to still play Metal Gear Solid 5.
It's getting done. You challenged Lex, you challenged me, and I got a lot more time. But I'm kind of like she is.
No,
like, I will grind it out. Son.
Lex. Okay, the difference between you and Lex is that Lex had to psych herself out to say like I was talking smack about her. I didn't theoretically do that. So
you owe me a case of Red Bull, sir, not just a 4-pack. Peach, please. No, to answer your question, they did do. I see on Destiny 2, their Twitter. Yesterday they pumped it out. Rasputin is at full power. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we take aim at the Almighty. Did they say anything further back than that?
Yeah.
They said there was an event. They didn't specify too much about it. But that's really cool. I mean, again, if games, like Smitty said, if more games do this, I think a lot of people will enjoy it. There was some flack. They said it took too long in reviews, like IGN, Game Over Greg. Like they were like, it was great, but it was way too long.
They need to market it better, in my opinion. Like the day of on this, especially something like this, especially someone that's like casual on Destiny 2 to say that like, hey, I didn't know that they were going to do an event like this. Is not. It's just saying that they didn't spread the word out, because who knows? I think the community, there could have been more people that would have been like, oh, that's cool. What are they talking about? Yeah. Or hint it or something. You know, I think the day of like that is a little long. And then I think the real time, I would agree. I think an hour or 70 minutes just to see that slowly happening is a little too long. There's only
this didn't happen until the last 20 minutes.
The
first 70 minutes were just the red slowly moving towards this ship. And then you seeing things being revealed and whatnot that, there's a shit ton of missiles headed right towards this thing. This is all the powering up of those bunkers and things like that we've done for this season. This season was so grindy.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't want to. There was no chance because like it was a public event, but if people weren't doing it, it's damn near impossible to do by yourself. Trust me, I tried.
Man, but that's my point though. It's like, but that's my point. It's like it would take like over an hour just to see all of that. It's like, we have stuff to do, you know? I mean, like, you see this stuff, like, just, like, seeing that slowness all converge together, then you see it all blow up and stuff. That's something that should be at least half that time, like 30 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Makes sense. But, like, But I guess they wanted to make it as realistic as possible, so you can't really knock him on that.
Yeah.
So
which I'm cool. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't, like, time-wise, that would have been like, But, I mean, I don't care, dude. This is a cool event. I love seeing this. I love the fact that they did something like this. Hopefully this propels them and motivates them to do more stuff like this. Because I will absolutely be on board knowing that this payoff is even a possibility now within that universe. Absolutely. I'll be I'm going hard in the paint on this next season as far as with the story and all that stuff. Because again, to me and as a gamer, that payoff is fantastic, amazing. And not only that, but you're experiencing it real time in game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get any better than that, baby.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't get any better than that, baby.
All right. Well, that's good. Man, this was a really meaty episode of the CFG GameCast, I swear. It was meaty. That's insane. I was just like, wow, we already over. This is like the longest ever episode we've done, an hour and 20 minutes. That's awesome. So, Lex, what do you have planned for the week?
Good question. I think we're kind of going back to our old schedule. Playing some. I am getting a new graphics card right after this, so I have to run. So hopefully Modern Warfare will no longer break my PC. But Spoopy Tuesday, JTZ is back in town. Hopefully we'll get to have him on Tuesday. Maybe we'll mix it up and do like a Twitch Sings this week. But yeah, doing a lot of Overwatch comp and maybe throwing some community games here and there. But Monday through Thursday, that's where you'll see me.
Awesome. Great deal. Smitty, how about you? What are your plans this week?
Yo, it is Saturday right now as we're recording. Tomorrow, I want to say at 5 or 5:30. No, I'm sorry. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. PST, I'm going to be on Lily Payne's stream. We're going to be talking about some of this, the Black Lives Matter movement, all that stuff. She asked me if I'd be on her show, and there's gonna be other things going on there, so I'll be there. And then tomorrow night, I'm gonna have a special stream. We're gonna be recording. Vegas Soup TV asked me to be on another episode of Beer Brothers Quarantine Edition. So you dropped off the beers the other night. They're still in the bag. I haven't even opened them up and looked. We're gonna be recording that episode tomorrow at 7:30 as well, and I'll be streaming that live on my channel. And then I'm back on Mishmash this Tuesday doing a dual stream with Fishy Floor. We're gonna be getting down on some O-dub, that Overwatch. You know how we do. And then back to normal streams Thursday and Friday over on Smitty2447, my channel.
Man, going all over the world, man. That's awesome.
Hard to paint.
What about you?
I'm glad you asked, Lex. My gosh. Yeah, so like today I was going to go stream, but I wanted to go watch The Flash, so I'm going to watch The Flash tonight. It just I need to go but tomorrow I am going to actually, oh man, it's actually kind of cool. So we're going to be doing some starting to do some interviews. We might actually open up a new podcast set for it, like in-depth interviews with celebrities. and developers. So we'll definitely check. So we're going to be setting all that stuff up tomorrow. I don't know if I want to stream the process of that. It's usually boring and stuff, so probably not. But in the middle of the week, though, we will probably play some random games. Not sure what we're wanting to play quite yet. And I'm also waiting for my new router because I'm having some issues. But yeah. So once all that's all set up, then we're going to definitely go and just play some games with the groups and have some fun with anyone who wants to watch with us. So definitely check us out on CFG Games. Yeah. So anyways, let's close it up, guys. Thank you for watching episode number 51 of the CFG Gamecast. We had a great conversation today, as always, and we couldn't help it. We couldn't have done it without you, the listeners, to do this. We are going to be back again next weekend with episode number 52, and definitely stop on by, give us a follow, give us a like on our Twitch page, or to also support the stream, go to any of our podcast services, Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, what have you. Or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. So, once again, this is Davis, Smitty, and Lex signing off. Y'all have a great weekend.
Bye.